When you don't really have a lot of experience, you get a lot of rejections or, no callbacks. So I tried to, my name is Zach, and I am a product marketing manager at NVIDIA. So my background is a bit unconventional. I started out as a visual effects artist in computer graphics. So I worked on a lot of films and TV shows, along with experience in developing VR games.
So how did you learn about product marketing?
I actually came across the role or product marketing during my job search. I was trying to pivot my career away from visual effects into something that would have more longevity. And I looked into community management. I think through all that searching, I came across a few product marketing roles. And when I read the job descriptions, I thought, they're very similar, like trying to communicate to people one to many, which was something that I was kind of doing already in one of my previous roles. And I thought, why not try to squeeze in what I used to do? And that's kind of how I started on this journey.
How did you position yourself as a product marketing manager? And what was that process like?
Because I'm doing something that's completely different from what I used to do, I try to leverage at least some of my previous knowledge and background. If I was coming into it just as a first timer, I would be competing against many seasoned PMMs. So I really try to dig into what am I good at? That's the question I ask myself. Communicating with people, computer graphics, of course, community management, being empathetic. And then how can I bring value to this role based on all my previous experiences? So I would look for roles that were with companies that was related to what I used to do, because that gives me an advantage, right? Instead of coming in at ground level, at least now maybe I'm at least 50% of the way there. I also tried to come up with initiatives that would help sell myself as the one-to-many type of communication roles. So I started my own meetup group. Some other things were, mock interviewing. So I did a lot of that. Practicing, finding a mentor is something that helped me a lot. Also updating resume was something that I did and focused on early on, and including my LinkedIn profile. Also looked at videos, YouTube. I spent a lot of hours on YouTube looking at what it takes to become a product marketer. Read books, Positioning Mindset, Crossing the Chasm, Lean Startup, all the books that Henry suggested on his channel.
Throughout the process, how did you stay motivated applying to so many jobs and interviewing?
When you don't really have a lot of experience, you get a lot of rejections or, no callbacks. So I tried to apply to as many jobs as I could. I'm not randomly, like very focused. So I would customize the resume to the role that I found. I would read each job posting and then go into my resume and then like augment it to fit that job. So any kind of keywords that that job posting had, I would put it in my resume somehow to make it relatable. So I could be searched and picked out from, if they're using an applicant tracking system or anything of that sort. The thing to keep me motivated really was just to stay on track. So I created a tracker. It's just like a Google Sheet with all the jobs that I applied to, and just looking at it every day kept me going, because I knew if I stopped, then I probably lose momentum. So I really pushed myself to apply to at least one per day, if not three per week, if I couldn't find the relevant job. So really the tracker and keeping it consistent every day, following up, it kept me going.
What was the NVIDIA interview process like?
It was 8 rounds, including a panel. It was all virtual. Spoke to multiple stakeholders, from directors, producers, PMM, PM, sales and marketing, dev relations, content managers. So it kind of runs like the whole gambit. And they asked me a lot of questions from, you're not the typical product marketer, you're not a product marketer, what can you offer? So that's when I kind of gave them my story. They threw a bunch of questions at me, case studies, scenarios, to see, they really wanted to see, I think the biggest thing is communication skills in this job. They wanted to see how I get my ideas across. So I really tried to think like maybe a developer or programmer, really start from the beginning, step by step, and grow it from like a funnel, so that, eventually you could reach, many people. So that's how I went about it and what they asked me.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to break into product marketing?
Find a passion and interest and use that as a way to like leverage to get into the space, or find a position to get into. Telling your story and showing how you can bring value, I think, is probably the most important thing. At least for me, it was. You need to show them that you're really interested in what you're doing or what you may be doing. And I think that that's something that gave me an advantage because I really like doing this stuff, and I like computer graphics. So they could see that excitement when I was talking about it. So I would say position yourself in a way where, you if you're not the expert, then do some research and become a pseudo expert. That helps in terms of bringing out passion and excitement while you're doing the interview.
Well, that's all the questions I had. Thank you so much, Zach, for sharing about your unorthodox experience breaking into product marketing.
Yeah, thank you.